It's currently 11:15 p.m. I recall going to bed today around 3 in the morning. And then waking up somewhere between 10 and 11 in the morning. Around 12:45 p.m. I had with my first cup of plain coffee after getting up around 12:30 p.m. I had with my first cup of plain coffee the equivalent of 2 whole cans of Wegmans generic branded Italian wedding soup. And the 2 small blueberry muffins, homemade by my dad's mom, that were first given to my dad, and then he gave them to me. I finished all of the soup and then had those 2 small homemade blueberry muffins. They were okay, though there wasn't much flavor outside of the blueberries. And they still seemed pretty fresh. Despite waiting at least 1 day after my dad brought those blueberry muffins home from his parents' place before I ultimately ate them. From 4:15 p.m. to 4:45 p.m., I did a 30-minute HIIT workout by following along a YouTube video. I had with me a glass full of tap water, the same one I used to have a glass of whole milk last night after washing it out right before filling it with tap water and bringing it up to my room. And then shortly afterwards starting the workout. I didn't break a sweat until about the second set. The second set. Upon which I started taking sips from that glass of tap water. During some of the 30-second break periods in between each 30-second exercise. The presumably 10 exercises that were part of a set in each of the 3 sets that were separated by a 1 minute or 60-second break period. Upon completing the third and last set, I went downstairs and roughly from 5 to 6:15 p.m. I first relaxed at the spare room on the first floor. That I only go to after exercising to get away from the polystyrene drawings I have upstairs in my room and that are in the living room area on the first floor of my dad's house. And then after a while, I laid down on one of the couches the main couch within the living room until about 6:15 p.m. when I went back upstairs to my room. During the time I was downstairs, I edited the February 16 My Dinner video. And then I uploaded it to my channel when I went back upstairs to my room. And the upload finished around 7:30 p.m. Throughout today, my room here generally felt around room temperature to me. With perhaps some points in which it felt on the colder end of room temperature. It feeling the slightest bit cold, but generally, my room today felt around room temperature throughout today. I recall having my usual 2 full cups and a partial third cup of plain coffee, roughly from 12:45 p.m. to an end time somewhere between 2 and 3 p.m. Most likely 2:30 p.m. as the end time. I recall the partial third cup being about a quarter of a cup. Between the time after I finished the soup and those small blueberry homemade muffins, and before I did that 30-minute HIIT workout, I worked on the triangle ball polystyrene drawing project by using these black ultrafine Sharpie markers to draw small black triangles. Which for these in particular I had to be pretty precise. And I had to use this Sharpie marker to brush off, to blend away unwanted marker. Off of the new black triangles I was drawing, but I ultimately managed it. I'll finish the triangle ball after I wake up in the morning tomorrow. I had a thought about using at one point a fine-tipped version of that Sharpie marker, but then realized that a fine-tipped Sharpie marker would be too thick and wouldn't be precise enough in the case of this. So, working on this project currently. It's just that blending with an ultrafine tipped Sharpie marker, it seems to make eensy weensy little depressions on the surface. So I was thinking of how to achieve the same effect of blending without making those depressions, but then later realized it ultimately wouldn't work.